This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now if you're old enough, and I suspect if you're watching this channel you probably are, I'd invite you to cast your mind back to the early 1990s. It was a period when I was playing in a lot of what are called in this part of the world club bands, because you're playing on the sort of club circuit, working men's clubs, social clubs, rugby club, you know, that kind of thing. And it's, in many ways, it's a bit of a step up from playing like the pub gig sort of scene. And when you're playing pubs, you've got a little bit more leeway to please yourself musically. You can sneak in original tunes every now and again, and you know, you're not earning very much, but you're very much doing it for the love of it. The downside, of course, is that you're not getting paid much, as I say, and the entire five-piece band has to set up in the 6 square feet between the pool table and the dartboard while people are still playing. It's not like that when you're playing the clubs. You've got a big stage, you've got a lighting rig, you've got a backdrop, you've got, you know, front of house PA, you've got monitors. You get dressed up a little bit to go on stage. There's a changing room. You feel a little bit more like a rock star that you're pretending to be, basically. And the downside of this is that you just got to play covers. That's it. That's all people want to hear, and you get paid a little bit more as well, obviously, because your overheads are a bit higher and everything. But back in the early 90s, I was in one such band, and we were a diverse crew. The singer was very much the smooth soul boy, modelled himself very much on Paul Young, as I recall. The keyboard player was absolutely, I think he was just disappointed that we weren't an orchestral manoeuvres in the dark tribute band, because that's all he ever listened to or seemed to speak about. The bass player was, kind of a bit of a fan of Mark King, level 42, all that slapping and popping sort of stuff, which is fine, except when he starts doing it in the middle of a Proclaimers song. Yeah, imagine that kind of bass line in I Would Walk 5,000 miles or 500 miles. That song, anyway. I don't have to imagine it, I remember it well. And I was always the rock bloke. I was always lobbying to get more rock into the set. And, we were refreshing the set one time, and the discussion got round to what ballad are we going to put in, the token ballad for the first half of the show. And this is the solo from the song that I was lobbying quite hard for. Yes, indeed, a little bit of Slash there, Buns and Toasties as we call them, Guns N' Roses, Don't Cry. Great song from, I think, is it the Use Your Illusion 1 album, because they brought out 2 albums at the same time. I don't know why I just didn't do a double album, but anyway, that's the way they did it. And yeah, as I say, I lobbied to get that song put in the set as the token ballad. It didn't work. The Paul Young enthusiast of a singer managed to persuade everybody else that we should do Every Time You Go Away, so that's what we ended up doing. Not a bad song, but it wasn't my choice at the time. Anyway, I finally got an excuse to play the solo that I should have played 30 years ago. I would hoping to play 30 years ago, and that's what it sounded like. And here's a little bit of an explanation about what's going on in the solo.
Solo explanation.
Okay then, as always, beginning with the chords that we're playing over. It's worth mentioning before we get into this that, like pretty much every Guns N' Roses song, it is detuned 1 semitone, so it's kind of 1 fret lower than standard tuning, but I've just done it in standard tuning here, so that's how I'm going to be referring to the chords. What we got is we're basically in the key of A minor, or G sharp minor if you drop tune like they did, but as I say, we'll think of it as being in A minor. We've got a bunch of chords from the key of A minor. We've got D minor, F, G, and basically there's an E chord in there as well, sort of functioning a bit like a 5 chord in the key of A minor, thinking maybe like the harmonic minor, but the rest of it is pretty much just Aeolian mode, natural minor kind of stuff. And basically the chords are arranged like this. 2, 3. And we finish on that D minor chord there as we go into the next section of the song. So it should come as absolutely no surprise that, when it comes to the lead parts, we're using basically A minor pentatonic and a little bit of the A natural minor scale. Where we've got that E chord going to the F, we play into the chord tones a little bit there. But just looking at, some of the licks, I'm just going to kind of refer to the tab as I'm playing this because, I'm going to get it hopefully right. We start in the sort of first position of A minor pentatonic like this. Like that there. We can basically see how all, hopefully, of those licks are coming out of that kind of A minor pentatonic sensibility. What we've got after that is a little run using kind of almost West Montgomery style octaves, where we basically start on the D, E, F, G and A like that. We're playing them in octaves, so it's the 5th fret on the 5th string coupled with the 7th fret on the 3rd string, and we just track that relationship up going D, E, F, G, A like this, like that, and then we come on to the 4th string on the C note here and go like that, and keep that sort of rhythmic pattern that we've established going. Then we have that kind of thing there. It's difficult to tell how far he's bending this this C note here as part of that lick, because it happens very quickly. Well, not massively quickly, but it's there and it's gone. It does sound almost like, that kind of blues, minor third to major third bend. Perhaps that's what it is, but we get away with it here. I think I've notated it down in the tab as a whole tone bend, like that. So after that we have what is, to use the technical term, a twiddly bit. Let me just have a look at the tab and I'll go through that with you. So after we've landed on this note here, we get this G and E note taking, essentially we're sort of in the this position of A minor pentatonic here, up at the 4th position, like that. So we go like that, and then we bring in the old blue note, the flat 5, and that's that run there. Again sort of coming down into the next position of the A minor pentatonic coming down. So that's going like that. Very, very kind of familiar feeling lick to me, that. I don't think I've ever learned that lick before, but it just felt nice under my fingers as I was playing it. Very sort of earthy blues rock pentatonic stuff. Then we're back up to the top end of this position 4 thing again for this little series of bendy kind of thing. Then the next bar after that, you see we've added the B note in there, again just A natural minor scale. This is where we've got that E chord going up to the F chord, and as I said, we basically kind of play into the chord tones there. So we outline this E major chord tone like that, and then made me turn it into an E7. With that little lick there, kind of a little bit harmonic minor-y kind of stuff going on there. Then we come back to this C note here at the 13th fret and just walk down that F major arpeggio there. It's clear that's what he's thinking there, just thinking in terms of the chord tone. So, and then now that's one part of the solo that I think that this was maybe a comp solo, because we seem to abruptly stop what we're doing here in position 4 and then come back down into position 1 of the A minor pentatonic here. It's doable, but it just doesn't feel like it's the first thing that would spring to mind as you are kind of playing around there. You know, who knows? But as I say, it's perfectly doable. So we've got... And we bend both of the notes at the 7th fret. Interestingly, that's an F sharp note there, which is technically speaking a wrong note. We've come to rest on an A minor chord here, so it's not going to like it's clashing with an F chord or anything like that. But we don't linger on that note, on either of those notes. Essentially what's happening is that we're taking this D note up a tone, and we're taking this F sharp note up a semitone, so we're getting kind of that pair of notes there, the E and the G, but just a gradual crawl up to them. Like that, and then he lets the E note back down to a D to land on the D minor chord, which is at the start of the next phase of the song, which is, as I say, where the vocals come in on that D minor chord. So, a very effective, I think, lyrical, soulful, and perfectly executed solo by, I think, one of the all-time rock guitar greats, Mr. Saul Hudson, better known obviously as Slash. So there you go. Now you know what's going on. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the solo, that explanation you've just seen there, and a jam track to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address on screen, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not drop me a like as well while you're at it? Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars and whatever else crops up. Fantastic way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.